Welcome to the Green Wasp Removal YouTube channel. In this episode, we continue training and mentoring the Manchester University Wasp survey team on August 14th, 2024, as they were asked by the local junior-senior high school to inspect the sports field bleachers and remove any paper wasp nests found underneath the benches. Spectators have been getting stung during games, and we need to make these bleachers safe for hundreds of people at a time. This was a huge job, but like any large job, you break it down into sections and you have a solid team working with you, the work gets done. The team had to operate in some very awkward spaces that were tough to reach at times, but they did a great job. Section by section, they ended up clearing 20 different paper wasp nests. Many of these nests still had live adult wasps, eggs, larvae, and pupae. We were able to relocate many of these wasps to allow them to survive and do their important jobs as helpful pollinators and excellent biological pest control agents in the local ecosystem. On jobs like this, you can never save them all, as the primary goal here was to keep many people safe from wasp stings, especially those with allergies. But we did our best, and we were able to relocate a good number of them. Some of these nests were so active and full of life that wasps like the ones you see here were actually being born in the containers as we were collecting them. Every nest we found was a beneficial native species, mostly Polistes metricus and Polistes fuscatus. These are great wasps to have in the ecosystem, so we really did our best to collect them and save as many as we could. Some of the removals we had to do were at height, and it was easier to just climb these things like monkey bars rather than trying to set up ladders and go from up above. We had to rig up some special field expedient tools like hard wire and things like that to get into some tiny, almost inaccessible spaces. On jobs like this, safety is always an issue. You have to weigh out what's efficient and what's safe, and somewhere there you'll find a happy medium and get the work finished. There were a lot of wasps yet to save. As you see here, males were being born on some of these nests. This is a male wasp. They are in the mating season, and it's important to try to let them do what they need to do to prepare them for the next season of life next year. Many of the nests were able to be pulled out with most of their adult wasps on them. Others were very tough to reach, and the wasps were literally running down tubes that were several feet long. We just had no way to get them out. Those we simply had to kill with essential oils and non-toxic soap and water mixes. So it just depended nest by nest, bench by bench, section by section. The great thing about working with this team is that they are so willing to do everything they can to get the job done in a humane and professional way. There's no weak links if everyone's willing to go the extra mile, and this team absolutely has that vibe all the time. Whether they had to crawl on the ground or climb up to height, they were going to get those nests, and they did. Ultimately, we ended up with 20 nests pulled out of those bleachers that day. Most of them we were able to bring back to another property where they could be released free range. So let's take you back now to August 14th, and we'll show you the entire job. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. August 14th, 2024. We've been asked by the local junior-senior high come out and take a look at their bleacher structures today and pull any paper wasp nests that we find on these two sets of bleachers. So you've got one here and you've got one across the other side of the track over here. And they've got 15 or 20 long benches on each. So we're going to go through and inspect under here. This is where historically, we found many paper wasp nests. And of course, when people sit down on the bench and they're yelling and screaming, making lots of noise for the games that happen out here, they get stung. So we need to make sure that we pull any of these nests that we find so people are not at risk just by coming to a sports game. The structures are very tall, probably a good 20 plus feet off the ground. So we have our extension poles today that can reach up here into these underside of the bleachers in all these little grooves and nooks and crannies where they like to hang out. Now I'm going to show you what an active nest looks like because they're pretty easy to miss. So we have to really be very careful as we go through these. Here's one right here. Very busy, very active nest right there. That's Polistes paper wasps. Looks like Metricus, possibly Spectators, but there's probably at least a dozen or more of them right there. Somebody sits on this bench up here, they're gonna get stung no matter what. If they have a venom allergy, they're in trouble. So we'll be taking those, collecting them, relocating the nest, get them off site. So this is kind of a massive structure, but when you break it down into manageable sections, it's relatively easy to inspect. For example, what you see here are separate bays. So you have one bay here, you move to the next bay, you have this bay, you move to the next bay, we're in this bay. So when you break it up, you've only got a certain number of bays and you only have a certain number of benches. And so we say bay 3, bench 5, we have a nest. Bay 8, bench 6, we have another nest. And we just go through like that. And once we identify them all, we remove them, and then we spray with non-toxic oils and soap and water to make sure they are deterred from coming back. So it's a very sizable structure, but it's manageable. It is August 14th, 2024. I'm here with the Manchester University Wasp Survey team, Sam and Elise, today, and we have been tasked by the junior senior high school to come out to these bleachers and inspect all of them for paper wasp nests, which historically sting people watching games because they set up right underneath these benches in these tiny nooks and crannies inside the bench, underside of the bench. And as soon as people yell and scream and jump up and down, cheering on their team, they get stung. It can be very dangerous, especially if there's any venom allergies for children or grandparents or anyone who's got an allergy. So today we're going to go through here and we're going to find all of those nests and pull them out. There's about 15 long benches on each of these structures. There's one here and there's one across the track over there. And each of them have, give or take 15 benches. So there's enough work to keep us busy here. All right, you guys ready to do some hunting? So as you can see, Sam and Elise, they just go through bench by bench, looking inside the rails of each constructed bench until they find any kind of wasp activity. And they'll collect the nest, pull it down, and then we'll treat wherever the nest was with a non-toxic essential oil mix with soap and water to deter them from re-nesting there. So as we look down each bay, you'll find hidden nests like this in a lot of different spots. So that's what we're looking for, right there, that kind of thing. Okay, so Elise has one nest right here. You see these two right here that are parked? Oh, yeah. That's where the nest will be. Try to pull that one. I'm going to step out so they don't attack me.
Can I just grab it with my hands?
Yeah, for sure. Just be careful, and if you want to try to capture it, any of the live ones in your container to contain them, that's fine. Do you see the nest?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would be able to get any of them in it.
Okay, no problem. You just pull the nest then.
Away.
Yeah, they'll just scatter and that's okay.
Because I'm going to have to stick my finger right up in there.
No problem, yeah. Just do what you got to do.
Oh, a larva fell out.
Yeah, a lot of times that'll happen.
Could you use the top of the container to kind of...
No, because of where it's at.
There you go. Good job. So we can reconvene with smaller scrape tools if you like. Watch your head climbing out.
For more.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. If you guys want to identify some more.
Got a live one.
Great. But let's mark them as we go through what bay we're in.
Here's a nest.
Yeah, go ahead and pull anything you find.
Yeah.
Great. All the ones you can find. While you're under there, check those lower benches maybe on that bay. See what you find. So we'll go bay by bay doing this, you know. Sounds good. I'll go find some scraper tools and swing back. Let me know if you find anything and then we'll pull them.
Yeah, if we don't collect them, they don't just die off, right? They just go build a nest somewhere else, don't they?
Yep, they'll just build elsewhere. They'll go out in the environment and build somewhere else. But this time of year, they probably will not make a new nest because the queens are starting to make reproductives now rather than starting to make brand new nests. So we'll spray up there. What bay are we in here from the end? We'll count it out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's bay 8 and bench number 1, 2, 3 down. So 8th bay, 3rd bench down. Looks like there's a small rail between.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Good job. We'll go get the sprayer up there. So that's what we're looking for in those little nooks and crannies. So anything you can find.
Should we try to vac any of them? Or,
Yeah, if there's a good little cluster of them, let's get the pole hooked up. We'll put the vac on this pole and we'll just suck a few up and see if we can get them. Okay, sometimes you just can't see them, but do your best. That's all we can do is due diligence, you know? All right, so what Sam is doing is trying to collect a few on a returning bunch of foragers who are coming back to where he had removed the nest. And it just reduces the swarm a little bit. I've got the sprayer for non-toxic oils, essential oils and soap and water mix. We're gonna take this up here and we're gonna spray where the nest was just to deter them. All right, so Sam is down here and directing me, because I cannot see much here, but he tells me this is the right bay, so that's what we're gonna hit. Does it look like I got it?
yes.
Great. All right, you guys see anything else down in this area for spray?
I don't think I've looked all the way. Maybe
Okay.
the least has, but I was getting that nest.
All right, no problem.
All the way down.
You feel like you didn't miss anything, right?
I didn't see anything. I saw a wasp, but I couldn't find a nest.
Okay, cool. So we just found another nest underneath the front stairwell. So we're gonna have Sam vacuum some of those. So you're collecting some of them, looks great. All right, cool. It's the same species anyway, let's just suck them right up. And in this type of collection, it's too hard to keep changing up. So we're just gonna collect everything in one.
It's under the stair.
Yep. All right, so what we have right here, another Spectators fuscatus nest. It's a good active nest with adults on it. It's right here under the stair. I'm gonna let you look under there first so you know what you're shooting at.
What's that?
It should be right under this one here or this one here.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, so try to get that best you can. You got one of the grabbing tools that can get up in there?
Yeah, that would be great.
You can have a tong or an angled one, whichever might work.
It's hard to with this long attachment. Maybe I should cap it and remove it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and keep it running for a sec. Go ahead and remove it, see what happens. Because you might get a little flurry of them. I'll hold it under there. Grab it. Perfect. All right, keep going until you get it off, and we'll spray it down. If you can't get it all, no worries. We'll get the spray in there and soak it. He says there's 2 nests in there, so he's trying to scrape them both out. Awkward place to work. You need a smaller tool?
Got one.
Great.
I don't know where I can put that.
I got it.
Mango could do me in such a tight space though.
No problem. They're all going to be that way on this type of job. Most of these nests you can't save very well. You just have to scrape them out and do your best to get rid of them, make them safe.
I'm holding myself up by my head up here.
Okay, if you want to lay down on your back, go ahead. There's tongs under your head, just move them.
Alright.
If it's more comfortable.
I would, but there's the little bar behind it from the small of my back, and that's preventing me.
All right, no problem. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no problem. All right, once you get out of there, we'll just kind of spray it down.
Wow, there are lots hiding back there.
All right, let's spray them. So I don't think we'll be able to get them out.
No, the nest is coming out.
Okay, great.
I think I finally got it loose from the back wall.
Okay, cool. Here's one. He's working on the second one now. A lot of wasps hiding back in there. Just don't hurt yourself. We can always spray it down if it's just a matter of ergonomics. There you go. Watch your head and your veil coming out. So this one was definitely very active. Still pupating wasps, still pupating larvae.
This
got
tool
it?
is perfect. I just got it out.
Great. I appreciate your putting in the work to get these things.
There it is.
You got it? Okay, cool. Hey, nice. Look at that. Yeah, that was a very busy one. Lots of pupating wasps in that as well.
Unfortunately, several decent amount of wasps got kind of different.
Yeah, no problem. We can still pupate some of these out in captivity. Once we rescued the wasps, we could get out of there. We had to kill the ones that we couldn't reach. That's never a fun job to do, but sometimes there's just no choice. Unfortunately, sometimes we can't save them. All we can do is make the structure safe. So what you see is they're all bailing out of a very tight crevice where we could not find them and save them. So Sam's able to hit them with this essential oil spray, and that at least makes this area safe. Hit them all with the oil. Once the oil gets on them, they tend to expire pretty quickly. So Sam's spraying them down, and they'll die very quickly because the soap and water and oil mix makes them suffocate. They breathe through spiracles, pores in their abdomen, and they just can't survive it. So you'll notice they die very quickly. Relatively humane way to have to do it if you do have to kill them using non-toxic means.
Oh wow, so many dead ones.
Yeah, anything you can reach, grab it, otherwise just leave them.
I got the whole nest.
Yeah,
Look
great.
at that.
Long and skinny, just like the space it was in, huh? They build to the space. Look at that, it looks like the pupa is still active, but it feels so light. Maybe it's just that Interesting.
There were tons of dead workers.
Really?
Yeah, all dried out.
Oh, look at that. There's one right on the nest. Fascinating.
They fell out with it.
Okay, well, fair enough. They must have died off in the cold. Probably it was a late season nest and the first chill got them. This one got stuck in the cold weather. All of a sudden there was like a flash freeze below zero, just killed them all. But it would have been very active otherwise. So good work, guys. So we cleared one bleacher set. You guys got enough in you to do the next one?
I can do that.
All right, so we found another very active one right here. Again, these are northern paper wasps, very beneficial local species. All right, Sam's going to work on trying to extract a few of them. Okay. Here's our nest, mostly defunct. Okay, I think we got most of them out. I'm going to spray.
All right. Great.
Now we're going to spray some non-toxic essential oil, soak down this whole area, and that will deter them from coming back. So here's a few of our native wasp friends that we pulled out of the bleachers at the high school, the junior high and high school. And what we're going to do is just open up this bottle and allow them to go free range here. They'll find their way out here shortly. All right, freedom. There you go. So we have just cleared the far bleachers over there, the larger structure on the west side. Now we're on the east side, and there's a somewhat smaller structure here, which will be a little easier to manage as we try to clear the wasps off this structure. But there's still plenty of bays here that we'll have to go one by one and check every nook and cranny on these rails. Let's see what we have today in here. I'll bring you with me as we do the initial look at things. So we go rail by rail, looking up in these little holes. There's a nest right there. You can see one up in there. We'll get to that in a minute. So now we just do this 20 more times. Patience. Slow with control. You get every big job done one slice at a time. So we're going to try to extract a few that might be up there. So just a note on voiceover here. Some of these nests that we pulled were just full of eggs. If you look in this nest, there is many, many new eggs in it. There's also been a few that have pupated out as adult wasps, but they put more eggs in the nest. Some of these nests we can save and incubate back at the lab. Others had to be sacrificed just to make the bleachers safe. We have another active nest. There's a couple of them back in there, probably a couple that are defunct, plus this newer one. But you can see how easy these are to miss in such a huge structure. Got to check every little nook and cranny. So we'll try to vacuum some of them out, then we'll remove it. This is an active nest. You see it has nectar in it. It's going to have eggs. Another note on voiceover here. You see these two wasps actively building cells with wood pulp. Larvae, pupae. These are Polistes. Looks like Polistes metricus, maybe. Hard to tell. Could be Fuscatus until we get a better look at them. But these are a very good beneficial species here in upstate Indiana. pretty much defunct also. So once we chase them out of there or collect them, we then spray it down with essential oil spray, non-toxic. That way it blows away their pheromones, makes it smell like not home anymore. And we'll spray the bays next to it, just to prevent them from coming back here. As you can see here, as we've been clearing the bleachers, we've been putting all of the nests that have live pupa in a container. You can see some have pupated out while we've had them in the container. So they are definitely very active nests that will be good to relocate. Here's another one. It's got live wasp in it, tucked away in there. Yeah, there's a bunch of them in that one as well. I'll have to take that out next. So it's like monkey bars in here. It's actually easier to climb up these than it is to try to set up a ladder in all these bays. That one's mostly hatched out also. This one's got a ton of new eggs in it. You can see them all down there in the cells. These are probably going to be males, because at this time of year the reproductives are being born, and any of the female wasps can lay eggs that are males, but only the gynes, the impregnated fertile females, can lay eggs that will be queens for next year. So we spray all the adjacent bays as well. That prevents them from just setting up shop next door. And they'll find a new place to dwell soon enough. Here's another one, looks like it's defunct from the previous season. Yeah, it's dead. Trader Joe's triple ginger snaps. Little product placement. We are not endorsed. Just kidding. Wish we were. If they sent me a truckload of that, I'd be happy. So we found a very busy Spectators fruscatus northern paper wasp nest down under this ramp. So we finished the bleachers. They're done. Found several nests in there, but now we're checking the ramp structure. And down here, there's a very active nest. You can see the wasps on the outside, wasps inside. So we're gonna have to get that one next using the extension pole. There's a yellow jacket checking out our pheromones. Anyway, so we're gonna use the extension pole today. And we're gonna suck them out from here because it's inaccessible. We can't really crawl back in there very well. So we'll just get them from here. Very active Spectators fruscatus nest directly in front of us. And then over here on the side, we call this stair structure, another nest. So there's a couple in here we're going to have to get rid of. So with this system, we're ready to go. Now we just have to fold up like a pretzel to get in here. It's an awkward place to work because we don't have a lot of space under here. So you just have to crawl in there. Well, we got a few of them, but it's a pretty awkward space to work, so we won't be able to get them all. So here's our nest, Spectators, northern paper wasp. Still one or two wasps hanging on. This guy is a male. This time of year you have a lot of males on the paper wasp nest. They have no stingers. You see he goes through the stinging motion here, but he can't actually sting. He has nothing but sexual organs at the end of his abdomen. There's no stinger, no venom sac. You can tell he's a male because of the bright yellow face that he has, much more yellow mandibles than the brown or maroon color of the females. And he's got antennae that are hook-shaped, like little canes. That's another way you can tell he's male. And so he needs to go out and mate. So we're not going to hurt him, we're not going to collect him, we're just going to set him free. Here you go, dude. Go find yourself a female, make some babies. They're not very strong, and they're kind of scaredy cats, so he's newly born, but we're going to let him live. So, next step as always, get the non-toxic spray with essential oils and soap and water. We're going to put that right into the hole on this beam where they were set up. Difficult to reach that, but here we have the 20 nests that we pulled out of the junior, senior high school bleachers today. Some still very active. Yellow jacket hanging around here. Yellow jackets are not paper wasps. They don't build this type of nest, but they will attack this type of nest looking for food. They'll attack the larvae, they'll attack the pupa, and eat them for protein. So anyway, what we're looking at here today is the eggs, pupae, and larvae still in these nests. And we're going to show you what they look like. Here's a pupating wasp coming out. Looks like a male. You can see it's a male face because the face is very long and yellow, much more yellow on the mandibles and on the rest of the head than the females. Here's an example of how yellow jackets will prey on paper wasps. This yellow jacket is not the wasp that made this nest. It's actually attacking the larvae in the nest and attacking the eggs, and it's going to steal them for protein. This is a German wasp, and you see all this innocent paper wasp larva. We're going to film this just because it happens in the wild, and it's important for you to understand this. Yellow jackets will attack paper wasp nests, as you see here, when they're looking for protein to feed their own larvae. So this yellow jacket is attacking this paper wasp larva, and it will carry it back and feed it to its own young. So you see it tore that larva up pretty good, killed it, and it will come back and keep feeding on these if we leave them out. You can see quite a number of larvae in there. You can see eggs in some of these cells. Once they've been used, they will reuse these cells during the season to lay new eggs in some of the cells, as you see in some of them. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for riding along with us today. We always appreciate having you with us. If you enjoyed the content on our channel, Please do remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment to let us know you're there. Have a good one.